Hello and welcome to We the Students, a political discussion sponsored by Nauset Regional High School's AP US Government and Politics program in collaboration with Nauset's video production class. During the next 30 minutes, our panel of Nauset government students will discuss the issue of guns and gun control. More specifically, should military-style automatic weapons be banned in the United States? If so, does such a ban violate the Second Amendment to the Constitution? I'm your guest host, Miles Pellegrini, a junior here at Nauset and a veteran of the AP government class. Just for the record, opinions expressed here belong to the panelists and are not the views of Nauset Regional High School or the Nauset Regional School District. At the bottom of your screen, you'll see a special email address for our panel today. Please feel free to email us your thoughts and suggestions about today's topic so we can continue this discussion in our government classroom. Now, let's meet our panelists. On this side, we have those arguing against the banning of automatic weapons: Ethan, Bethy, and Bobby. And on this side, we have those arguing for the banning of automatic weapons: Tesfu, Ben, and Claire. Now let's begin with opening statements. Would you guys like to go first?
Yes. 6 out of 7 mass shootings were conducted with at least one military-style assault weapon, capable of shooting hundreds of rounds in a matter of minutes. These weapons of mass destruction are too dangerous to be in the hands of civilians. Therefore, we are calling for a federal ban on all military-style assault weapons for civilian use.
And your opening statement, please.
Over the years, the question has been asked, should the minority be able to affect the majority? Whether it's a tyrant in a far-off land affecting us here, or whether it's a criminal affecting everyone all over the country. Should the wrongdoings of a few, pertaining to firearms, affect the rights of many? The choice is clear.
All right, those are great opening statements. So my first question goes to those against automatic weapons. How can you justify your argument against the banning? No, how can you justify your argument for the banning of automatic weapons when the Second Amendment to the Constitution so explicitly protects the rights of Americans to bear arms?
Well, we basically think that this is a basic argument of safety versus freedom. At what point do the freedoms of citizens infringe upon the ultimate safety of the masses? So, in the Constitution, citizens are given the freedom to own guns. That is a freedom that we are given. But at what point does this freedom, overstep itself? At what point do the safety of the masses, become infringed upon? So how many people basically have to die before you realize that this freedom can't be absolutely unlimited?
Define masses.
What we're fighting.
Define how many? Number.
A lot of people.
Take it easy, Bobby.
1,000? Over 1,000?
What we're fighting for here.
I need an answer to the question.
What we're fighting for
How
here
many
are
is
the
a
lives
mass?
of the children who died at Sandy Hook.
How many?
All right,
is
Bobby,
a mass?
Bobby, I think she means the general public, so let's move on from that.
30,800 people die in car accidents in a year. There's no movement to get
Cars
those
have other
removed.
uses. Cars are
So
used
do
to get
guns.
people to...
Guns have other
Yes,
uses.
and
we're not debating
banning
guns.
all
We're
guns.
debating-
We're only banning assault weapons.
Well, where does
Military
it stop?
style
It's a
assault weapon.
slippery slope taking away
It is not a
rights.
slippery slope. It's a
Is
small
that so?
step. It's
Because
not
as soon
banning
as
all
you started
guns.
taking rights from people, in the American colonies, it all went downhill until they were quartering soldiers.
As
in people's
James
homes.
Madison said, a founding father, if men were angels, no government would be necessary.
Well, in our government, it says we have the right to bear arms.
Yes, it does. But you know what? Also, there's so many people who have died because of these military-style assault weapons. How about the kids?
well,
you know what
a
yesterday
tiny
was,
fraction-
Bobby? You know
a
what?
tiny
You know what
fraction of
yesterday
those
was?
people died of assault
Yesterday
weapons.
was the anniversary of 4 years after Sandy Hook,
Which
where
was with a
26
semi-automatic rifle.
military style.
An
We
assault
are
weapon.
not
An assault
talking
weapon.
about semi-automatic
We're talking
weapons.
about automatic
Yes, we
We
are
are talking
automatic
about
military
fully
weapons.
automatic
No, we're
weapons.
not.
Just to be clear, we are talking about military-style weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Military
all
style.
military
And you know how
style
many
weapons.
kids died 4 years ago yesterday? 26 innocent kindergarten kids who were just, doing what
And
kids
thousands
do.
of people die in car accidents. I'll say
But
Cars
we're
have
not
other
debating
uses.
car accidents right
Everything
now.
has uses.
We are debating the ban of civilian use on military-style assault weapons. Let's stick to what we're debating, Bobby.
In 2014, there were 8,124 gun murders in the United States, and 5,562 of them were committed by handguns.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I'm not
but those
saying...
shootings are
I'm not saying
devastating.
we're not
Compared-
saying that handguns don't commit the most gun violence.
57%.
We're not saying that they don't. We agree with you. If that's a statistic, that's a statistic. But what we're arguing here is that these guns kill so many people.
In a
Compared
short
to
amount of
other
time.
forms
But why?
of killing,
Why would?
assault weapons are a tiny fraction.
Why would we civilians need guns that the military uses? Like, the only use for these guns is to shoot so many rounds in a second. If you're about to say that we use it for hunting, hunters don't. You know why?
Do you really think that banning assault weapons would keep them from the people who want to use them?
Absolutely.
The people who
You
want
really
to use
think
them.
the people who are following the law are the people shooting other
It would
people?
reduce the amount
Well,
of assault weapons in
the
circulation.
person who shot up
to the
Sandy
people who are
Hook.
attaining them illegally. Why should criminals have rights that lawfully abiding citizens don't?
Banning assault weapons doesn't give criminals the right to have them.
But it gives them the ability to have them where others do not.
Right now,
it's
they
not
have
a right.
the ability to have them.
But
Yeah,
by
and
banning
so
them,
does everyone
you're
else.
just taking them away from the people who are getting them the right way and using them for the right
Most people
the purpose
who
that is
have
not going to
these
harm
guns-
anyone.
criminals to get them.
No,
Most
criminals are
people-
going to get them anyways, no matter what you do.
If they
they're
go on
gonna
the
find a
black
way to get
market,
them,
the
and they're
prices
gonna,
will go up. Most criminals are criminals because they don't have a lot of money.
Most people.
banning it for
People.
civilian
Let's
use.
hear from other panelists who have not spoken yet. Let's get some other points.
Well, the shooting in San Bernardino still happened even
Bernardino.
after California's assault weapon ban. So I don't understand what you're saying about how.
Actually, assault weapons were banned before in this country between 1994 and 2004, and it did reduce the amount of mass shootings per
And
year.
yet there were still assault weapons in this country.
Okay, so here's a question for your side. Okay, if banning these weapons could save one life, you'd still say it's not worth it.
Do you
One
really
children
think-
who died at Sandy Hook. One person who was dancing at Pulse nightclub. One
People
person.
will kill people regardless of the
And that's not
way.
okay.
But they're going to
It's
do
the
it.
federal
Why
government's
should you
job
punish the
by
majority?
banning
Step
assault
in.
weapons, you're not going to stop people from killing other people.
No,
It's going to happen
it's
no
gonna
matter
reduce
what.
the rate.
Yeah, assault
Or
weapons
there
are
would just
very
be an
lethal
uprising and
weapons.
other ways to do
That's
it. An ID.
hypothetical. You do not know
So
that
you
that
can't
would
commit a
happen.
mass shooting with
It's
knives.
not banning weapons is
You
not
can't commit a
hypothetical.
mass
That
murder
could
with a
happen.
bomb.
The people that were killed at Pulse nightclub were killed with illegally bought assault weapons.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they
the
were.
Pulse nightclub shooter bought it 2 weeks before he made the shooting. He bought 2 weapons.
Please
2
support
weeks.
that.
Tesfu, would you like to add anything to this conversation?
Yes, I believe that banning assault weapons is keeping it out of the hands of civilians. Assault weapons weren't made for civilian use. They were made strictly for the military and for war. Civilians don't need these guns. It's more for fun and for causing damage. Civilians, they don't have the right.
Can you let him finish?
Well, during the assault weapon ban that you guys brought up, placed from 1994 to 2004, it had no impact on crime rates.
Actually,
It had an impact
does
on mass shooting
shootings.
numbers,
Mass shooting
not overall
numbers.
crime
But
rate.
crime rates stayed the same.
But we're not talking about crime rate. We're talking about
About
these
We're not
guns.
talking about murder either.
Yes, we are. I'm
We're
talking about the
talking about
kids that were
banning
killed at
assault
San
weapons.
Yeah,
Sandy
which
Hook.
A
causes mass
general rate
murders.
of crime.
Those firearms do not cause murders. People cause murders.
With
But if
a
people,
firearm.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
people get their
Chicago.
hands on these firearms, then they
Chicago,
can.
with one of the strictest gun laws in America, top 10, has 2,200 shootings with a population of 2 million.
Yeah, but those
And
are
how
used
many
mostly with
entire
pistols.
state
How
of
many
Texas,
mass shootings were
the
in
entire
They're
state
not
of
mass
Texas,
shootings, though.
the entire state of Texas, with a population of 26 million, has less than half the murders. It is the people
Yeah, but
behind
you're
the
talking
weapon.
about Texas,
It
not
is
Chicago.
not the weapon.
Texas is a state.
Chicago,
Chicago
is
a
a
capital.
single city, and Texas is a full state. The range is much greater there with much less
But you
murder.
know how many mass shootings were in Chicago?
A significant amount more, I would imagine.
Really?
Mass shootings.
Mass shootings. These weapons we're debating, they're not used in your average day crime when you go up to someone and rob a store. They're not used for that. These
Average
weapons.
day crime?
Yes, because
Really?
those happen.
Do you
you're
think
saying,
someone robs a
Can I
store
finish my
daily?
sentence? You're saying that
suppose.
57% of shootings are with handguns. Those are the shootings when you go into a store and someone robs it. Those are the shootings that you get robbed at gunpoint, stuff like that. These weapons are used in mass murders.
To kill
Well, you
hundreds
guys-
of people
you
in a
guys-
short amount
You
of
guys'
time.
argument
Why
is
would
to
they-
protect against murder.
Why would you
But
need
what
to-
you just said is
why
that
would you
most
need to
murders
shoot?
are committed by the small handguns. So
But if this
Yeah.
could
But we're not
limit the,
debating.
You are
if this
talking
could
about
limit-
numbers
But
over
that's
time
what
if
the
this
versus
could
Ben just
numbers
brought
limit
at
up.
the,
once.
if this could limit the amount of people who
But
die,
it couldn't.
it
Yes.
couldn't.
It
All right,
You really
wouldn't.
think people with mental
we are
health
going to
issues
shift
aren't gonna-
topics just for a little bit. So When you talk about the Second Amendment, and more specifically the banning of assault weapons, the gun show loophole, which is the ability of any American citizen to walk into a gun show and buy any gun, and you don't need to provide any identification or a gun license. So that's the gun show loophole. So what role do you think that the gun show loophole plays in the issue of banning
A significant
assault
role. I mean,
weapons?
Even though
people.
it plays
Can I finish? People should not be able to go into a gun show without a background check, without a gun certificate saying that they're able to buy a gun. They shouldn't be able to do that. So by banning these weapons, those gun show loopholes that sell, let's say these military-style assault weapons, they couldn't sell those weapons anymore.
they couldn't get
Yes,
their
they
hands on
could
them.
sell other weapons,
License.
but that's something we need to address further
Well,
on.
I
We-
think it's
can
more
I finish?
whether
We
the
need
gun
to
shows
address
should
how.
start making people provide those type of identification rather than just banning a whole.
So we could
This
talk
is
about
not
that.
a
Group of
debate about how we
firearms.
purchase the weapons. This is a debate about how we have them or not.
Yes,
So
but
if we're-
the gun show loophole does have a lot to do
But
with
it is-
banning assault weapons.
It's a tiny fraction of the mass shootings.
Put stronger,
Let the moderator ask his question.
I was responding to his question.
put stronger regulations on that. Don't ban the weapons completely.
No.
If
Putting
you ban the
stronger regulations
weapons,
on the people is very flawed because it's hard to determine who dangerous people are. It's very hard to determine that. And usually the only for sure way you know who, like, you know somebody's dangerous is if they've committed an offense before.
Do you think
The-
a person with a mental illness should have a weapon?
No,
No, I
but
do
sometimes
not.
it's hard to determine
The
if
Well, it's
somebody
not hard
has a
to
mental illness.
Back on what
Rule.
Ethan said, the gun show loophole
That's
has
not
been
true.
around for a long time, and we've had the opportunity to stop it by passing legislation. We haven't done that, so what we're calling for is a civilian ban on this.
You think we wouldn't have done that if it had played a major role in mass shootings?
Well,
Clearly it doesn't, or we would have passed regulation on it. So what's the point of harping on it?
what's the point?
Yes,
to
what's
save
the point?
lives
Yeah.
of people that could be killed in the future.
But
of
it's
these
not
mass
from a
shootings.
gun
This is
show loophole.
This is a what if question. Like,
If
these are
the
not
parents
facts.
of the child of Sandy Hook were here, you'd tell them that if we ban these weapons, you know,
Are you telling me
it
these
could or could
weapons?
not.
Are you telling me these weapons wake up in the morning and walk into that school
No,
to shoot it?
they don't.
It's the
It's the
person
people
behind
behind
it.
it.
It's the
And
person
they will
behind
find-
it.
should not have the access to that weapon.
Exactly.
That person
That's
should
the
not
best
be able to
thing.
have
That's
it.
the
It's
means
it's
to
a
do
military
it.
grade weapon. It's
Why
not made
would
for
you-
So are
civilians.
explosives.
Why
he could have
would
done the
you
same
need-
thing with a handgun. He could have done
Yeah,
the
but you can't
exact
just
same
go
thing
and
with
buy
a handgun.
explosives.
Walk into
No,
Sandy
you
Hook
can't.
and
No,
all those people.
He
Explosives.
couldn't
Yes,
have
he
killed that
can.
many
One at a
explosives.
time, one at a time. One at a time, please.
You can make weapons of mass destruction with anything around your home. You can make a bomb out of
With bread.
sugar and stump remover.
Okay.
Weapons are easily attainable one way or another, and people will find a way to kill people one or another.
So we need
So
to
why,
regulate
let me
it.
Exactly.
Finish.
We
I've
need
let
to
you finish.
regulate
Let me
it.
finish. So why should the people who are obeying the law and buy these weapons legally and use them for sport or for collection be punished because of the few people who take advantage of the power that these weapons possess and use it for evil?
Because
it's
the
that
few people use it
1%.
for evil.
They do so
That's
bad.
why.
Why do you need an
You
AR-15
don't.
for sport?
You don't.
Please explain.
There are other guns
Shooting
for
in
that
itself
purpose.
is a sport. Pardon.
Exactly. There are other guns that you can use for that.
Like what?
A
Pray
pistol.
tell.
A
Does
pistol
this
fine.
weapon
can't use
look
a-
like it needs to be in the hands of a civilian? A
Does that weapon look
military
like it's used for
use
sport?
It. Do
You
they
need it
need
for
this?
sport?
Do
What are
you
you
know
gonna
what
use that
pertains
for?
in sport shooting?
You can
Do
use
know
that to
how
kill a
sport-
deer? You're gonna shoot 1,000
You're
bullets in
basing
a
it
deer?
off the
A
look
1,000
of the gun.
bullets. How
You
many
know-
how many
1,000
bullets do you
bullets?
think fit in a magazine of that gun?
Oh, they make
1,000?
They make drums that
You
can hold.
think-
No, they make drums that hold hundreds. What I'm saying is this gun is capable of shooting hundreds of bullets a minute. You're
Really,
gonna
the
shoot a
only thing
deer
that
You
with
can
that
modify
many?
guns to make them shoot.
It takes
And
time to
any
reload
amount.
a weapon, and a drum is not.
It does not take time to reload a weapon.
Are you
frankly.
joking?
Yes, it does.
You pop one
All
drum
right,
out, you
let's
put
remain
another
on
drum
topic.
in.
We're not talking about how long it takes to reload weapons. We're talking about the banning of automatic weapons. So let's try to stay on topic here.
Okay. They've already been banned in 7 states and the District of Columbia. So we're just pushing for a federal ban. They've already been banned
Yeah,
in 7 states,
but that ban
including
just-
Massachusetts.
That ban just increased the rise of gun trafficking. So more crime due to more
Exactly.
legislation.
Gun trafficking between states, right?
More
So if
crime
there's a
for
federal-
more legislation.
If there's a federal ban, then that won't happen. People won't be able to transport guns within
Really?
between
You can
states.
say with
They're still
with
gonna do
definite
it. They're still gonna
certainty.
find a way. Criminals will find a way to do anything.
But
They do
banning it will
illegal
make it
things.
harder. Banning it will make it harder.
How
Yes,
much
but it's not
harder?
going to eliminate it.
Bethany,
Not
this is
very.
my
doesn't
question to
matter.
you. Are guns more precious than lives of children, than lives of people?
That's a
Well, I
leading
think
question.
people's rights are important.
Are
I think
using
people's
assault
rights are
weapons for
precious, and you're
sport
trying to
more
take away
important than
someone's
That
rights
is
that
a
is given to
loaded
them by the
question.
Second
Are
Amendment.
guns more precious than the lives of kindergarten
People's rights
children?
are
All shootings
precious. That's
happen
what I
in
Answer
just
the
said.
question.
Zones.
Are
The safety
guns
of people is more important than the freedoms that we are given.
All
That
these-
is the purpose of government, to regulate the freedoms that
So
people
are you
have.
saying that people should just live in a box from everyone else?
I didn't hear that
protected
from
like
Clara.
I heard
I
that
did not hear
freedoms
that.
are less important than safety.
All right, so
Of
we
the
You are-
masses, yes.
You are putting your safety into the hands of others as
When-
soon as you step
when
out of
do
your
the
front
rights
door.
Freedoms
of
are
one-
privileges. We have to earn them. You can't just have unlimited freedoms.
When are the
So,
rights
to
of
be
It's
honest-
one?
given to us in the Constitution.
When
We
are the
are-
rights of
excuse me,
one
folks,
inferior?
we are approaching the 15-minute mark, which means we're just about halfway through. So you're watching We the Students, a political affairs, political discussion of AP government students at Nauset Regional High School. At the bottom of your screen is a special email address for our panel. Please feel free to email us your thoughts and suggestions about today's topic so we can continue this discussion in our government classroom. So to resume discussion, I would like to ask a general question that anybody could answer. So we have heard a lot about the mental health from both sides, that aspect of it. So to what extent do you believe that the stigma surrounding mental health, and by extension, the failing mental health care system in this country, plays a role in mass shootings, such as in Aurora, Colorado, and Sandy Hook, Connecticut?
A massive role. No one in their right mind wants to take the life of another. So mental health is a big role in this discussion. And someone with mental health issues should not possess a weapon of that capability.
No one
But the
should
general
have
public
that weapon.
has better
that
sense than
capability.
those of the mentally challenged.
I think that to fix this problem, we need to work on our mental health system in the United States instead of
definitely part of
just banning anything, because that's taking away from the people who are using them for, like Bobby said, sport or collection. And because of those people who are mentally ill and need help, those people need help, and we're not giving them the help they need.
But when
That-
are the
we shouldn't
rights
ban-
of
we
one
shouldn't
inferior
ban
to the rights
those-
of the community as a
We shouldn't ban
whole?
those firearms because some
That's
people
exactly
need help
what
that
we've
they're
been
not
talking
getting.
about this whole time.
When are the rights of one inferior to the rights of the whole, is what I'm trying to say. If one person can kill...
You are talking about taking
Can I
the
please
rights.
finish?
You are talking
if
about
one
taking
person
the rights
can
of the
kill
whole.
40 people, or 26 children, or 50 people at the Pulse nightclub, his rights and the community's rights are safer without these weapons. So
Was
we
the
shouldn't
Pulse
have
nightclub a
them.
gun-free zone? Answer that.
Yes, it was.
Then why were there guns in there? You should put stronger regulations on whether the guns get in the first place.
Sandy Hook's a school which is gun-free. The person walked on campus and shot
How
up
was
a
he able
school.
to do that?
He drove his car. He got out of the car, took the
I
guns,
think-
Why
and
was there
think-
not
shot
stronger
at the
think-
school.
security at the school then?
I think what Ethan's trying to say is that we need to work on our security and how we protect people from these things.
But in the
instead of just
meantime,
banning
this
them.
can
you
keep
let me finish,
happening.
Then why would
please?
we
There
have
is
a
a
You let me
security
finish.
guard at
You
the
need to
Pulse
let us
nightclub.
finish.
Because
We need to
it's
have
a
such
right
strict
guaranteed in
security
the
on them.
Constitution. The framers were smart people, and you can't deny that.
Framers
They
didn't
are.
know
Yeah,
assault
but they
That's
have
why
the
James
other
Madison
two
said
Why
if men were angels,
Do you
no
really
government
think
would be
that the
necessary.
framers were not smart enough to realize that weapons would get more powerful over time?
They were brilliant.
Well, obviously not
Exactly.
enough, though.
Well, obviously, they could have put a restraint in
Do you
there.
know
They
what the
could have
Second
said
Amendment
low-powered
says?
They did.
weapon. No.
It says
Have
a
you heard of
well-regulated
amending the
militia being
Constitution? That's
necessary
what
to
they
the
did.
security of a free
A militia
state.
is an army. We are talking about an
Well-regulated.
individual.
It says in the Second
A
Amendment,
well-regulated
militia.
militia,
Yeah.
which is an army, not a weapon. You are talking about two very different things.
I'm saying that's why people have the right. They have the right to be part of a well-regulated militia.
People,
You
yeah,
have
you
stretched
can
the
be part of an
interpretation
army.
the Second Amendment so
You have the
far.
right to bear arms. The
You
right
do.
to bear arms. You
in
don't
order
have the
to
right to
participate in a
bear.
well-regulated militia.
Does it say in order to participate specifically?
No, it
in
says
there?
being
Yeah,
necessary
that's
to
what
the
I thought.
security of a free state, as in fighting for your state's rights.
And where does a free state not include the person in it?
It's
I th-
it's for the state, like as in like a
Yeah,
state
but people
militia.
live in this state. Don't you want the people to be able to protect themselves?
But
You're not
I
fighting
think
for
what
the
we're
state.
trying
With
to
an
make,
AR-15.
like last time
an
I
automatic
checked,
weapon.
I have never seen someone
assault
walk
rifle.
down the road with an AK-47 strapped to their back, walking down the road like, woo!
I would hope not.
I've never seen
Massachusetts,
that.
of course you have it. We have some of the toughest gun laws in the country.
And you know
If
what?
go to Texas,
When was
they'll
there?
gun us every day.
And they have under 1,000 murders.
When was there a mass shooting in Massachusetts? Like, when was a school shot up in Massachusetts
When
that
was the
killed
school shot
20?
up in Co-
Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook shot up, killed 26 children. Yeah.
Are you
But
done shouting?
California has some of the toughest gun laws, and San Bernardino.
You know why
people
I'm
still
shouting,
killed.
Bobby? Because I'm fighting for the lives of these people who have
No one
died.
wants these people to die. We're just trying to have an intelligent discussion about rights, and
No, so
shouting
that's
just
why-
takes away from it.
No, it doesn't,
does,
Bobby.
actually.
It
It
doesn't. It
takes away
shows
from the
emotion.
professionals.
It
He's
shows
voicing
that
his
I am.
opinion as well.
It shows that I am invested in this because so many people die.
That
We're
your
all
opinion's more important than the other.
The right to live is more important than the freedom to own guns.
Frankly, yes,
It's
it
not
is.
the right to live.
It's
yes,
not
it
the
is.
right
the
to
right,
live.
the rights of everybody to feel safe in their community and to
But
keep on
people-
living is more important than the
people
freedom of
need a
people to
gun.
own assault weapons.
Some people
Could
need
you
those guns
say-
in order to feel safe. You just said you,
You
want
need
people
an
to feel safe.
AK-47 to feel safe?
Some
Could
people
you
do.
say-
I need a handgun to feel safe because I can conceal that, and that works just as well as defend.
You don't
It
need assault
pertains to
weapons for
57%
protection.
of murders.
So,
You're t-
President-elect Donald Trump said in January
Here
of
we go.
2016 that there should be no limits on guns as they save lives. Though this may be true in some situations, you cannot deny that assault weapons often assist in the taking of lives as well. So, do you agree or disagree with President-elect Donald Trump that
Well,
there should be no
well,
limits
clearly
on guns?
Texas compared to Chicago is an example of that. That less regulation provides less murder.
And all guns that are used in death assist to the death. It's the people that are shooting the guns that are killing the other people.
Yeah, but you can't deny that assault weapons do make it easier in some situations.
You have to
Anything
put
makes
stronger
They can shoot
regulations
more
on
people in a
getting
shorter
these
amount of
guns.
time.
People that
you-
have
So
the right
can bomb.
background
But bomb
checks
can
and
blow up
everything
and
should
kill
be able
everyone
to
in
get these
1
guns
second.
to use them
Have
for
you heard
sport.
of any
Do you know
mass,
there's no
like,
waiting
bombing?
time in most
Yeah.
states to
Terrorist
get
attacks?
one of these
Exactly, but we
guns?
can
those
change
were
that
not
instead
from
of banning
America.
assault weapons.
No, we
they happen
need
in
to
America.
take
Exactly.
action. These weapons should never have been in the hands of civilians. They were
Could you say
designed in the
that one person
1950s
with a
for
gun-
the military.
Could you say that one person with a gun is taking away the rights of many?
Yes.
Isn't
Because
that what you are
person
suggesting
is-
that
one person
we do
killed
now?
53 people at Pulse nightclub. That one person took the life and rights of all
That was a
of those
gun
people.
And
zone.
what you
There
are
shouldn't be guns
suggesting
there.
It doesn't
right
matter
now-
if it's a
The
gun-free
security should do a
zone.
better job of not allowing guns to
So
be in
it's
there.
okay because it was the security.
What you are suggesting right now is
I'm not
that
saying it's
because
okay.
one person took the rights of a few, that you should take the right of the entire
No, because it's
country
not
because
just
of
one
it.
person. It's one person at Pulse nightclub. It's one person at Sandy Hook. It's one person at San Bernardino.
And how many of
Yeah,
those
but-
people had
Go on.
mental
I,
illness?
those things
Not
are
all
those,
of them.
those,
Pulse nightclub
not
did
all
not
of
have a
them.
mental illness.
those
He didn't.
incidents
Or
are
Islamic Terror.
awful and terrible. But
That's not a
by
mental illness.
taking
That is
the
religion.
rights
All right,
of
let's
the
let
And you
Beth
Let's
rest
put
of
a
the
stronger
country,
regulation on
Let's
that.
let
That's-
Beth
On
finish,
religion.
please.
by taking
No.
the rights of the rest of the country, that's taking away millions of people's rights.
But if
to
it could
own
save one
firearms
life,
that is
Becky.
given to them by the Constitution.
But
One
really,
life.
it's not going to save
But you
that
can
life.
still
It's
have
going to
that
make it
right by
kill
owning
another
other
way.
types of
No.
guns.
You
No.
really think people aren't going to find a way to kill people one way or another?
Yeah, but at least
So,
we can
but
regulate
Mass
one
shootings are
way.
devastating.
Yeah, there
So
just
are
wasn't
bombs.
another way to do it. That's the point. If you
But
take away
we're not-
one way, they're going to use another way.
So
it's-
we
A
should
mass
let
shooting with a knife.
we should make it easier
Well,
on
it
the
wouldn't be
bad
a mass
guys
shooting
by
then,
letting them
would it?
still
Exactly.
have
So
these
let's just
weapons.
keep all means
just
of
make
it
murder.
easier.
If you
Murder.
ban this,
Yeah.
then people are gonna end up killing people with handguns. Then what are you gonna do? Ban handguns?
Well, according to
then
you,
what are you gonna ban knives when people are stabbed?
57% of murders are conducted with handguns.
The same weapon that is used to protect most people in their homes.
Okay.
So that's good with the bad. You can't take away that.
Yes, handguns.
Would you prefer that people defend their home with bow and arrows? Or a spear? Is
Well,
that what
I mean,
you would
that's
prefer?
how the Indians did it. but-
Actually, a firearm in the home is 43 times more likely to be used to kill a member of the household than to kill a criminal intruder.
Yeah, and most of that would probably be suicide. Out of the
That's
30,000 gun deaths per
hypothetical.
year, 60% are suicide.
That's not.
Okay, but that 40% that's not isn't suicide, and that 40% that is not is taking the lives of others. So when do your rights, when do the rights of the people you kill, where do we find the balance is the question. One person should not be able to take out an entire kindergarten classroom. Last time I checked, that's disgusting.
But you're not
He got
suggesting
those guns
balance.
from a responsible gun owner, his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his mom didn't do the shooting. He did it. He took them from someone else.
Exactly.
Have
Maybe
you ever
that
tried to
mom
say-
should learn to put her guns in a safe place. It's
Exactly.
Not,
There
shouldn't
needs to be
shouldn't
more
have to-
regulation.
Exactly.
Have
She
you
shouldn't have
ever
given him
tried
access.
saying no to a
How did he
loved one?
obtain those weapons?
Maybe
Were they in a
she
law
should-
case where he didn't know the code? Were they?
He was over 20 years old. He probably went into his, I don't know this for sure, but guessing, I think he probably went in his mother's home where he lived, knew where the guns were, because
You're assuming.
yes, I am assuming, knew where the guns were and took the guns.
From
How
a
was he able to
responsible
take the
gun
guns?
owner.
She should have not had the guns in the first place.
Exactly,
It's
that's
not
what
made
not-
for
it's not
civilian
her mother
use.
having the
They're
guns.
not made for civilian use.
It's not necessary to have an
technically
AR-15.
Stole the gun. That
It's
is
not
a stolen
necessary to kill
gun.
people.
He
Yeah,
did not
but he
obtain
shouldn't have had
those
the right
guns
to
legally.
He shouldn't have been able to get his hands on one from a
Alright, so
responsible
I don't have the right to
gun
get my
owner.
hand out of
Match.
cocaine, but people still
So
do.
take it down and remember to remain cordial to all our participants, please.
Okay, Bobby, you have been talking about majority the whole time, and how the majority's taking the minority's taking the rights away from the majority.
Correct.
According to a Gallup poll, 71% of Americans think that banning gun sales to people on the no-fly list would be an effective way to combat terrorism.
Yeah, regulation is a fine way to combat.
So let's
terrorism.
regulate and not have
That's
these
not
guns.
regulate. That's
Yes, it is
eliminating-
regulating. If
No,
we're
it's
banning
not.
these guns, we're regulating
Can you
it.
define? No, that's
We're
not
regulating the
regulating.
types
That's
of
taking
guns
it
that
away
people
entirely.
can
But it's
get.
regulating.
Or we could regulate who's on the no-fly list by stationing police officers in their homes. Take away another amendment.
Police
why
officers,
don't
you know how
We're not taking away amendment.
Well,
No,
It's
we're
already
not.
taking away the Second Amendment right for people to own weapons.
But you
No,
know,
not
the
only. We're
Constitution
talking
was
about-
made so
be
you can
amended.
amend it. You know, the
It can
founding
amend
fathers
for
knew
if
the
that.
so many people
founding-
wanted it to be amended, why hasn't it happened already?
Bobby, we're talking
Because
about
there
taking
hasn't
away-
been
You
a
are
strong
talking
enough
about
movement
finding a
yet.
way around
We-
the Constitution
Well,
rather than
we're not
changing
taking-
it.
we're not
Yes,
taking-
you are.
No,
was
we're
the
not.
assault weapons ban, but that obviously ended because it was not effective.
No, because
It
a
didn't-
Democratic
It
president,
expired.
Bill
because-
Clinton,
well, if it was really
initiated the
ineffective,
bill.
they would have renewed
No,
it.
Becky,
No,
we're not
Bush-
talking
they
about
just
taking
so
away
against it.
rights
President
from owning
Bush said he
guns.
was going to extend it, but once he was elected, those promises got swept right under the door.
Well, maybe
And
because he
crime
looked at
rate
the
didn't
facts and
change
saw
at
that
all.
the
No,
it
maybe
had no
because he
effect.
wanted to preach to the whole, get elected, and then push his own agenda.
Are we talking
Not
about
what's best for the
presidents or
country.
weapons?
No, we're talking what's best for the country.
No, we're not. We're
Yes,
talking
we
about
are.
assault weapons, not the
We're not
whole-
And
taking
by
away
banning
rights.
them, it's best for the country, in our opinion.
in your opinion.
Yeah.
And
an
what about
opinion
the
doesn't
people
make-
in Texas or in Maine or in any place in Alaska where
So you're
guns?
assuming that all people in Texas and Maine and Alaska are guns, like gun
No.
enthusiasts?
Are guns?
No.
I'm not assuming anyone is a gun.
You just
Ben.
said-
That's the point
no,
I've
you
been
said-
trying to make.
No, Ben.
I
that's
never
not what
said a
he's
person
assuming.
was
All right,
He's
a
saying
Bobby.
the people in those states who own guns, they shouldn't have their rights taken away because of your opinion.
But
It's not
if it
all their
could
rights.
save one
just
life
restricting
is the
their rights.
question.
But it's
Yeah,
not
but our
gonna save that
opinions
life.
are
It's gonna
backed
kill
with
that life in another way.
So are ours.
No, you're wrong, Bobby. I'm sorry, but if
In
we
your opinion, he's wrong.
no,
Yes.
Becky, we're
Bobby
not trying to
says
take
You're not
away
respecting
guns.
Bobby's opinion. right
I'm
now.
respecting his opinion,
Then
but
you're
it's
just telling
wrong.
him he's
Actually,
wrong.
if
You
Very
literally
rude
just said you
snarky.
respect his opinion, but it's wrong. Respect
All right,
his
this is
opinion
not
is not
this is
saying
not a
it's
personal
wrong.
argument. We're specifically talking about automatic weapons, so please stay on topic.
Wait, are we talking about automatic weapons or
Military
just
style automatic.
military
Yeah,
style
military
automatic
style.
weapons?
Military style.
So that means
weapons.
all the semi-automatics we mentioned earlier don't count?
No,
No, military
that's
style
not-
Military
assault
style.
weapons, which is automatic
Sorry, I
and
misspoke with
semi-automatic.
automatic. Military style.
So, hence the name military
style
style. That's
for the
not
military.
civilian use. So why would civilians need AR-15s that can have 100-round drums?
Around the creation of the Constitution, a musket was a military-grade weapon that was provided to the people as
That
well.
argument is
Yeah, but that
invalid
didn't
How
have
because
a
so?
drum.
those are not as dangerous as the assault weapons that we have today.
What classifies how dangerous something is?
How many
With the
people can
fact
shoot
that
in a
it
short
can
amount of time?
hundreds
If you
of
well
people-
maintain your
Well,
gun,
that-
you can
that can kill hundreds of
plenty
people.
of people.
Really, what we're fighting for here is the lives of the people who have died at Sandy Hook, at Pulse Nightclub, San Bernardino, Virginia Tech. We are defending the lives of those people.
We are
And
not
if you
saying those
can't
people
see-
should have died.
If you
You are
can't
not-
see that by
We're
banning
defending
these
the rights
weapons,
of
You are not defending the people.
if by
you are
banning these
attacking
weapons
the weapon.
we could have saved one life, you don't think it's worth it, is what I'm
Banning these
hearing.
weapons wouldn't have saved one life.
Yes, it
Criminals
would've.
still
It
find a
would've
way
s-
to get stuff. If cocaine is illegal, people still
But
find a
it
way to
would
get
have
it.
made it harder. What you're saying
there's
is
no
let's just
gonna
give
do it.
them the
Making-
guns.
when you
Let's
make
give them the
something
guns so
harder,
they
There
can
are
have
But there's
regulations
stronger
on
regulation on whether they
No.
can get
We are
the
not
guns,
just giving those
or whether
guns.
it's a gun-free
Even
zone.
an illegally attained weapon is still a crime. We are not giving them the gun. They have to get a license. They have to purchase it
No,
legally in their
really,
state.
the gun loophole lets
So
them right by
unfortunately,
that.
folks, we're just about out of time, and so we're going to have to hold our discussion there. Again, we invite you, our viewers, to email us your thoughts and suggestions about today's topic, so we can continue this discussion in our government classroom. We thank Nauset High School's television production class and Lower Cape TV for for making this valuable experience possible for all of us. That concludes another segment of We the Students, a political discussion sponsored by Nauset Regional High School's AP US Government and Politics program. I'm Miles Pellegrini. Thanks for watching.